back with my beloved Prema again. I saw a house for sale. Basically, it's just behind me. And I would say maybe there's a 10 to 20% chance that it could be where young Prema lives. And I was thinking, I hope you don't move, Prema. I hope you don't move. It's a very, very nice area, even though the houses are sort of quite, simple. The area is just absolutely pristine, beautiful energy. It's just so good around here. Even if I was a millionaire, I think I would still want to buy one of these houses. But I thought, if when the house sells, I'll be, I walk here every day, so I'll know when it's sold and I'll see the new people moving in and stuff like that. And I just really hope that Prema doesn't go. I hope you don't go, Prema. It's funny, isn't it, that you can get such an attachment to a cat, but I do, and that there's a few cats that I really have a strong attachment to. But yeah, when I was in Portugal, Prema, you were so present in my mind every day. Every day I felt like I was with my Prema. You're a very good teacher. You really are. And so there, on the screen is some impressions when I go into what I call Nidra, N-I-D-R-A. It's just like, when you're siestaing and, I like to fast and all that sort of stuff. So I'm often in a fairly sort of intuitive, high sort of state. I've done yoga all my life. And that's why I love cats, because they're the natural yogis, aren't they? And we like to bask in each other's energy. But yeah, you can see some of the things there. Now, I'm not saying that this is Prema teaching me all this, but what I'm saying is that when I do sort of fall half asleep, I do often have a siesta. I might not actually fall fully asleep, but it's definitely a very regular thing, especially in hot countries. And I always put my mind into the cats. And these are some of the impressions. It sort of comes out of nowhere. And I think, oh, wow. And so I'll be thinking of one of the cats. And I would say in Portugal, about 80% of the time, it was always Prema who came to my mind. And there she is again, doing his thing. And I don't know what his real name is, but this is a very powerful thing, I think. And it's a big part of my life. I'm 50 years old. And over the last, in my life really, I do have friends, but basically, especially in the last 5 years, I don't really see any of them anymore. I've got a few new good friends, like there's definitely nice people in my life, but in many ways the cats are closer to me, certainly than my old friends, the COVID stuff, and it just made me realise that people aren't really like me. And so yeah, I don't want them back. And they get married and have children, all the rest of it, and it's not really like I've lost friends, because you drift apart, don't you, and people have families. I never had a family, and I don't feel like I'm old. I'm young. I'm eternally young. I'm immortal, really. But Prema is a cosmic soul, and I just pray that, I do believe we're moving into the fifth dimension, whatever that may be. I do talk a lot about that sort of thing on other channels, and it's always been a massive preoccupation of mine. And I've always had a thing with cats. And that thing with cats seems to be developing each and every month since I got involved with the whole interspecies communication. And it's not, I don't really, think, I'm not very good at it in the way that Anna Brayton Bach and Penelope Smith are. I would like to be, but yeah, I was just kind of thinking, I'm not really quite sure what I would ask even. But, alright, Prema. But it's more the commune. It's not really the words or the impressions or the visuals that we're exchanging. It's the love, isn't it, Prema? It's the love and the smells. And so the smell today is valerian root spray, which is always on this glove, but also in there. For the last 2 months, there's been a tiny little bit of catnip just at the bottom of that, and it was just residue from the bag I had in there. And I think the bag split open. And even 2 months old, literally it's just a pinch. All the cats make a beeline when I'm wearing these trousers, and it really stimulates them. So there's something that you need such a tiny amount, and you don't need to keep changing it. So it's crazy how powerful it is. And so I've got a little bit of scratch on my hand because he was rolling around and scratching, and it's because of this. The valerian, yeah, you know, nice, they like it. I don't make the spray so strong. You know, you add the oil to water, or you can buy the powder, and then you could just sort of dip a little bit onto the finger. I was saying the other day, one day, I kind of dipped quite a lot, and I sort of had it crusted, and I sort of flicked all the powder off, but it was still kind of everywhere. And young Scampy, you can see there on the screen, absolutely lost it. Instantly, she just stared into the bush and was looking very strange and acting very strange. Hey, Prema. And I thought, right, I'd better leave Scampy, because if anyone sees me with this cat in this state, I might get in trouble. What are you doing to the cats? So the valerian root can be very strong, as can silvervine, which is even stronger than catnip. But yeah, if you're into this whole idea of cats and smells and things like that, then let's see if she plays the follow me game. Prema, go follow me. Then I would get some valerian root, I would get some catnip, and I would get some silvervine. eBay's good for stuff generally. And just, you know, just work with it, just play with it. If you've got any questions, ask me. I'm the Pied Piper, aren't I, really? And then this is our picnic spot where we sit here, so I'll probably just plonk myself here for a bit. I was here at 4 o'clock this morning. I've been getting up earlier and earlier. Let me just plonk myself down here. Oh. There we are, Prema. And it was absolutely pristine here at 4 o'clock this morning. It was so delightful. This is such a very special place. I know I always say it, but it really is. Up over that way we've got Land's End, and then past there we've got the Isles of Scilly, and you have to take the boat to get there, and I've still never been. Prema's never been. So there you go, I'll probably leave it there. I was feeling really a little bit upset earlier, and now I feel fine. But yeah, I'm just a little bit upset about people. It's always the same, and it's just been so difficult with not knowing. I'm following the world scene very closely, and those that know me know that I've always been very keen on what's known as conspiracy theory, but now everyone's realizing it's all true, and I was completely right, and I always have been right. I'm kind of claircognizant in a lot of ways, and all my life I've just kind of known things. And so if you were talking to me when I was 14 years old, I would have told you that Satanists rule this world, and they use black magic to rob us, and that we shouldn't go along with it, and that they're lying to us at school, and everything's a massive con trick. Isn't it, Prema? Everything's a massive con trick. Wow, look at that. Nice for Okay, yeah, that's good timing. I wanted to kind of move on, but I just had a look at the footage. Doesn't Prema look lovely in this light? It's just fairly grey day, but sometimes, and under the lamps as well, under the street lamps, Prema looks great. Yeah, I've kind of lived in my own world of knowingness all my life, and it's led to all sorts of problems with my family and friends, and being pigeonholed and castigated and cast aside and called all sorts of names, and people saying all sorts of things, because I don't toe the line. That was always what my parents would say, my dad especially: toe the line. Why can't you? My mum would always say, why can't you be like your friends? Why can't you be, why do you have to be like you are? And what I was someone that was saying there's something very, very, very wrong in the world, and that we're literally like lemmings going off the end of a cliff, and no one could see it. And no, I could. One person could. I had a friend who was a few years older than me, and we were thick as thieves, and he was very, very well read and a very magical young man through intense illness. Since he was born, really, he'd sort of battled with illness, but it's often those sorts that have some sort of very, very magical powers, and he did. And me and him got on very, very well, and he taught me a lot. He was older, about the occult, and about not nasty stuff, just hidden knowledge. He was very, very well read, and I'm well read, so between us we did pretty well. But aside from him, in many ways he was like my mentor for a few years. He's the one I first went to India with, and we went twice together, back in 94 and 93, I think, or 92 and 93 when I first started going there. So anyway, I won't go on too long, but for me, bonding with these cats is a huge part of my life, because I feel that togetherness and I feel that friendship that I don't really get from any of my old friends, aside from that one I mentioned. I always feel that I'm just looking across something at them, just waiting for them to disappoint me again, and they never really want to talk about what I consider to be real things. So there you go.